All right, man, peace. Once again, brothers, the dark horse for me in the NBA Western Conference is going to be the San Antonio Spurs. Now, I have to recalibrate exactly how high I think that they can go without Dejounte Murray, who I believe is going to be out for the year with an ACL tear. But still, they are very, very dangerous because that team has never been fully dependent on a point guard anyway. And with the addition of DeMar DeRozan and a presumably fully healthy LaMarcus Aldridge, I expect them to be a problem for a lot of teams. Let me say this. If the Houston Rockets were to finish at the number 2 seed and the Spurs were to finish at number 7, it would not shock me if the Spurs took them to 7 games or maybe even were able to defeat them in a first-round matchup. And that brings us once again to Mr. LaMarcus Aldridge, who claims that they're happy basically to be without Kawhi Leonard this season. And I'm sure that they're pretty relieved to not have that specter or that cloud hanging over their franchise. So anyway, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
All right, next up are the Spurs, who seem to be relieved to move past the Kawhi Leonard drama from last season. LaMarcus Aldridge saying, quote, "We are happy to turn the page. DeMar is here. He's happy and he's motivated." Brian, something, nothing, or everything.
Well, DeMar's there, and he's upset, and he's out for revenge. That's what he is. And so is Pop, by the way.
Or everything.
This is something to me because this is a bit of a complex situation. Can LaMarcus look you in the eye and say that he thinks that they're going to be better this season than they were last year?
Right, but is that really a relevant question? Especially since the only real question for a player of LaMarcus Aldridge's age is, do you think that you can win a championship? Do you think that you have a better chance of winning a championship than you had last season? And I'm sure that he's going to say yes, because once again, this is about DeMar DeRozan over nothing. Because they had nothing last year because Kawhi Leonard didn't play. This truly was not a trade for DeMar DeRozan and losing Kawhi Leonard. They were trading away nothing basically and getting back DeMar DeRozan because they had no Kawhi last year basically. He only played 9 games and the Spurs were able to win 47 games. Now where they're really going to lose a little bit is not having Ginobili, who does little things here and there over the course of the season where he's going to get you about 8-9 wins just off of little plays that he makes. A steal here, a rebound there, a shot here, a pass there. That's who they're going to miss. But there's no doubt in my mind that the team is going to be better overall this season than they were last season, and they'll be more dangerous in the playoffs.
Yes, I think he can say that because
Well, they Kawhi for 9 games
they
last
had 9
year,
games. So I actually believe that they will be better.
Are they?
To your point, are they closer to a championship now than they were a year ago? No, they're not. So, it's one of those things.
They're dangerous, though. The Spurs are dangerous. Outside of the Warriors, I think that they could beat any team in the playoffs in the first round. Or any round, really.
Things that's accurate but not true. And so technically, I think I could understand what LaMarcus is saying, but I think in his heart of hearts, everybody in San Antonio knows that they're retrofitting / rebuilding a little bit.
Well, the reason why I don't know if they're going to be better is because DeRozan has to get into Pop's style. He has to learn that style. They don't have the shooter and Danny Green that they have. So,
well, what Popovich is going to do is he's going to try to make it an easy transition for DeMar DeRozan. He's going to bring in a lot of the plays that I'm sure that he's seen on film from DeMar's days in Toronto. Really try to make him comfortable in that way, and then incrementally try to bring him into the San Antonio Spurs culture.
Yeah, so you need shooters to play like that. They don't have all the shooters they've been had, but at the same time, it's everything because one player don't stop no show in San Antonio.
Agreed.
Tim Duncan.
Well, other than Tim Duncan.
Can leave. Ginobili can leave. Everybody can leave. We have a championship attitude. We come to win games. We professional. We carry ourselves the right way every year, regardless who's here.
I agree with you for the most part, but they never won a championship before Tim Duncan, and they have not won one since he left. So until they can win another one post Tim Duncan, we can't say that one player does not make the San Antonio Spurs. Tim Duncan, as I always state on this channel, he's right up there with Moses Malone and Bill Russell as the most underrated players in NBA history. I would have to put Moses and Bill Russell ahead of him, though, because it's just so flagrant the way in which so many so-called basketball or NBA fans try to omit Moses Malone and Bill Russell out of the conversation of being amongst the greatest of all time. Most people will mention Tim Duncan as the greatest power forward of all time. But to this day, I don't think that Tim Duncan quite gets the credit that he deserves for the dominant force that he was.
So they gonna keep it going. It's everything to me.
That's a Spur.
I was going to say, that's someone who's been in that locker room. And you guys are seizing on a different part of the quote for me. When he said he's happy to be here, that's what kind of, I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting that he said
Well,
that.
he signed the extension a year ago, so he's not going anywhere.
Well, I don't mean DeMar. I mean, is he talking about someone else who...
Of course, he's talking about Kawhi. Because when you have a star player of his caliber and he does not want to be there, that's going to affect the psychological profile or the mental attitude of everyone on the team. Because their attitude is, this guy's supposed to be our captain. If he does not want to lead us into battle, how can we win? That's the real issue.
I see.
I
gotcha.
But I think Steven's absolutely right. And here's what the jump recommends.
But anyway, that's basically it on that. Once again, the Spurs to me are one of the teams to watch because I do think that they're going to be dangerous for many of these other teams. They fall right into that crack of teams that have players with playoff experience. They're extremely well coached. Of course, they're not going to have the firepower to compete with Golden State and probably not even the Rockets, but it would not shock me if they faced the Rockets in the playoffs in the first round and were able to defeat them. And they would be a very dangerous draw for a team like Utah or New Orleans or OKC in the playoffs. But anyway, peace.